All
right. As we're about to start learning a little bit Kabbalah, it's thundering outside, so that's, I think, a wonderful sign here. We usually think that having emunah, having faith, is all we need to do in terms of avodat Hashem and so on and so forth. But it's not really it. It's not really it. The Chazon Ish writes the following, and I'm quoting, "Ve'amitut metziato yitbarach," and the truthfulness of the existence of God, mitkabel כי ליבו רואה תמיד ברכי נוגה למעלה מגדרי עולם. Right? You see things that are beyond this world, and if you're going to look around you, ימצא פתרון החידה של העולם כולו, you can find the answer for the riddle of the world, אשר האמונה שיש בורא לעולם, אשר מנהיגם. That's where you're right. But it's not really enough. Emunah is important. And the curiosity is a part of our program. And sometimes it pushes us to ask for an answer, and we have questions. And the question is, what do we need to do in our lives in order to pour some substance and meaning in our lives? In order to give life that your actions that you did in the past and actions that you will do in the future and actions that you're actually doing now are going to be unified. And you want to create a certain flow or continuity in your actions in order to well with you, that would sit well with you. And what the Ramchal writes in Sefer Mesilat Yesharim, Yesod HaChasidut v'shoresh ha'avodah hatmima, the root of all things, sheyeda ha'adam ma chovato be'olamo, that you should know what's your job, what's your chovah, you're obligated. So if a person was not, let's say, if your natural urge did not push you to really know your creation, comes the Torah and gives an obligation to you on basically on any Jew to know what's your obligation in the world. What is your job? A person should say, well, what do you want from me? In other words, if let's say, for example, you're looking for a job, I hear you looking for a job. And I'm saying to you, okay, buddy, you come and work for me. He says, okay, what should I do? He says, come to my office 9 o'clock on Monday and then we'll talk. So you come with your suit, you're wearing your power suit, your blue suit with the red tie, and you so on and so forth, and you're coming to work, and you're sitting down all nervous, and you give me you're hired, start working, and you look around and said, great, but what should I be doing? Don't worry, but just sit down, figure out, start working. Settled and very weird. Okay, I mean, I got the job. Thank God. I'm very happy. I'm getting paid a lot of money. But what am I supposed to be doing? Because I want to keep my job. So you're going to ask everybody, what's your job? And they're going to tell you, oh yes, they need somebody in that department to go work over there or something like that, and so on and so forth. But you're going to figure out something to do. My question to you is, why does that happen to us in the world? Why don't we come and ask the boss or ask ourselves, what is my job? What am I supposed to be doing here? You think that you came here to just drink tea and hang around and talk to your chevra? There is a job for you to do. You were hired to this job. and your obligation is to do work. Now, what's the job? Everybody is different. It's a big apparatus here. It's a big operation. We have a whole, departments upon departments, and there's scales, and everybody has a different job, but we all need to be working for a reason. And if you're going to sit there not doing anything, you're going to become a nuisance. You're going to become an obstacle of other people doing their job. Because if you're going to talk to me and I'm busy with my work and you talking to me, you interrupting me. You are preventing me from doing what I need to. I might get fired. But I'm going to tell you the following: being fired from this world at this job, it ain't that pretty. Because you're out of here, as they say. You're gone. So Judaism comes and tells us that you have to ask for it. Judaism offers or trying to suggest to us a certain purpose to life in this world, and it's a goal, it's a target that we could fulfill it in this world and this world only, and that is called letaken olam b'malchut Shaddai, to fix this world in the kingdom of Hashem. In other words, it is our job to make this world into a better place. Remember what I told you before about skidding the system, why it's so bad. This is our job. Letaken olam b'malchut Shaddai. And we'll see why the world was created the way it was created. Therefore, every single Jew should work for Hashem. I don't say while he is alive. How do you do that? By directing every single action of your action towards your, that you do, to, whether it's your the way you talk or the way you walk, and you can tell by the way I use my words, I'm a Hashem's man, no time to talk, right? Staying alive, as they say. Yeah, right? That everybody, by your actions, about the way you talk, about the way you work, everybody will say, oh, this is a man of God, that's a Jew. So this is how you do so, and everything that you do should be directed to achieve this goal, to achieve the target of fixing this world and making it to a better place. And by doing so, together with the rest of the Jews, with Klal Israel, which the Torah was giving to them, together we are all building and fixing the whole entire world, as previously said. And it is not enough only to have emunah, because the emunah, belief, does not have the power to change the ways of men, to be able to be mashpia, to change your ways, to direct you to this way or the other way. And that's one of the fundamental differences between Judaism, for example, and Christianity. In Christianity, they say it's all about faith. And all you have to do is this. You could be the biggest Russia in the world, but it's all about faith. And you see, it's not enough to change you. In order to change, in order for a person to reach to a state or to a level in which he could pull all his actions or direct all his actions to know Hakadosh Baruch Hu, and so on and so forth, towards Hakadosh Baruch Hu, towards his avodah, only then you could change it. And takes a lot of work, to direct your, to be able to put yourself on that track, and in order to do so. I always said, thank God the Torah was giving it to us. But for example, if the Torah was given to the Japanese, I don't know, that's something that we should learn from their ways of how to do things. Those people are able to take their actions and to direct their actions to one single thing. And maybe that's something that we should learn, if we lost it, and I know we had it, but if we lost it, That's how we could get it back. Look at other people, how they do it. If they can do it, they don't have Torah. I should be able to do it also. Direct everything I do towards that. The concept of a samurai, for example, is a very interesting concept. I mean, Judaism, in a way, is like a being a samurai. And with the whole essence of the existence of the samurai is to serve his master. And if the master dies, the samurai is expected to do a seppuku to kill himself out. Because life without a master for a samurai is pointless. Because since the whole thing is about serving, how should I be serving if I have no master to serve? Are able to reach this kind of a level on their own. Most people need a guide. You need a guide, somebody to guide you, to take you through the stages, to develop you into the point that you'll be able to become a master of your actions. That you need somebody to guide you. Very, very few people are able to do so on their own. It's brought, by the way, also in Lehavdil. I know it's not Kabbalah, but I'm just to let you know, those concepts are true. It is brought. That concept is brought in the book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. If everybody knows who it is, but it's a tremendous thing. I mean, think about it this way, right? Most of us, I do believe that there is a God, but how many of us are really willing to serve God as lehavdil, a samurai could serve a human and his master? I do believe, but you see, therefore, you see for me that emunah by itself is not enough. It's important because the emunah is the acknowledgement that there is a God. But beyond that, I need to understand also to really be able to direct my actions towards that master. And in our case, it's master of the universe, Melech Malkei Melachim. And that's what we need to do. We need to ask those questions. We need to do all these things all the time. And that is the emunah is beyond everything that we could understand intellectually, right? Beyond any kind of intellectual negotiation that we have. As Rav Dessler writes in Michtav LeEliyahu, he writes, "Ha'emunah, belief, haynu shema'amin b'ma shelo yasig od b'sichlo." Emunah is to believe in something that you know that you're not going to be able to understand. Wow, it's really dark out. The emunah surrounds person and he wraps them around him, but it doesn't. The emunah is not enough or strong enough to penetrate into the person. We could not, and we should understand that we could never feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we could never understand or comprehend the essence of what is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we should know and we should feel his existence if we look at everything like this. As I said to you yesterday in Eov, Mibsari ere Elokim. From my flesh, I could look and understand that there is a God out there. And we'll talk later on about maybe not today. And the celestial heavens over there. And you should know today, Nashivota elevavecha, and you should Nashivota elevavecha is how would you translate Nashivota elevavecha? Most people would translate it, and you should have a tshuva, right? But I'm going to offer you something else. Veyadata ayom, and you should know today. After you know today, Nashivota, I would tell you mishum lehashiv. You're going to answer your heart because your heart is asking the question, and then you can only able to answer your heart inside after you know what you're going to Ashivota levavecha ki Hashem hu Elokim, that God is God. Only then. And it's not necessarily only in terms of knowledge and a skala of how great the Kadosh Baruch Hu is, but also really, really feeling and internal realization that 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 by the way that realization exists by all of us all the time, that there's nothing else besides God, and is Emunah in Kadosh Baruch Hu. And uh, and the existence for that is that Emunah is not enough, is as you can find from the En Yaakov, the famous Gemara that it brings. Where's Eitan? That it lives in Masechet Brachot over there. That it says, Ganva afur machtarta rachamana karya. In other words, the ganav, a thief, while he's in the middle of his action, coming in the darkness and stealing, he still prays to God that is going to succeed in his ways. In other words, this ganav, this thief, is a great believer. He believes that if it wasn't for Akadosh Baruch Hu, there he would not succeed. So therefore, he turns to God in a prayer. He prays to God, please help me steal, right? However, as we said before, emunah by itself is not enough to be able to change your ways and to overcome your earthly desires and really make yourself into a better person. Because with all this emunah that this person, this ganav, has, he still prays to God, but he still is a ganav, he's still a thief. Now, you could have, very firm people, religious people who are very religious, do all the mitzvot, and the emunah is they don't really cry to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, they just do the mitzvot. But that's a different case. Like for example, if you have somebody that how many of us will be embarrassed here? Let's say I don't know. Let's say you have a boss, right? A big boss, right? And your boss is not a Jew, or he's a secular Jew, and all of a sudden your boss happens to be in an event that you do, I don't know, in a wedding that you're dancing for like you're doing the shtick in the wedding, or you shaking the lulav in Shana Rabbah. Oh, Shana, you're shaking like this, right? What would you how many of you would be embarrassed? Oh, my boss is there. Oh, I shouldn't be so crazy, right? You know, so you're a religious person, right? And he believes in God. He does the mitzvot, but he doesn't feel like Kadosh Baruch Hu while he's doing the mitzvah. He knows that there is a God, but he's not really. We know this from David HaMelech. When David HaMelech brought his Aron Abrit from where he was to Ir David, he was dancing and jumping up and down, right? And Michal said to him, is it appropriate for a king to jump around like a lunatic? The heroism of David HaMelech, of King David. But how many of us will be willing to do so? How many of us are hiding behind the trap of the image that we all living? Oh, I'm a that's when I was a little younger. So one of my talmidim got married. So in his wedding, I was dancing, and I was really happy for this person from the inside of my heart. So somebody calls me later on to the side. Some acquaintance of mine says to me, "Listen, he says to me, I really don't understand. You're a rabbi, this is like you're talmidim, and you're dancing here also, you know, in such a way. You're also doing that, dance like a rabbi." I said to him, I sent him back to the story of David HaMelech. I said, I feel like the inside's coming out. I'm not doing this to win any brownie points. I'm doing it because I feel like doing so. And with all this emunah that you have, and so on and so forth, still the emunah is not going to be able to overcome you from the fear of what your banker would say, or what your boss would say, or what your secular cousin would say. Igim on you. And by the way, this is how the Shulchan Aruch starts. The Ikar Avodah of Avodat Hashem, The opening of the Shulchan Aruch is Shidgaber Ka'ari, right? You could be mighty as a lion and feisty as a tiger to overcome those who will make fun of you for your lifestyle. And how many of us are becoming apologetic for the lifestyle that we're living? Well, why do you have such a beard? Is it because I want to? People used to give me a hard time. I mean, I have a beard since I was 15 and a half years old. Oh, you're so handsome. Grow the beard. I say, I know that. I don't need to. I'm doing you a favor. Otherwise, it's like, don't pay attention to what people say about you. So when you go like this, you should realize that you don't have the hargasha of what we call Elohim Chaim U'Melech Olam. You don't feel that God is alive and is alive inside of you. So we said before that the really essence of our life is really to do what we call Tikkun Olam b'Malchut Shaddai, and the first step on doing or living up to this level is really doing as much as you can, whatever is in your ability to do, of doing the mitzvot, right? As the mitzvot come, by the way, not only in the written Torah, also in the oral Torah. The mitzvot mid'Rabbanan are just as, if not more important, sometimes the mitzvot mid'Oraita, because they are also ladders that would allow you to elevate yourself. So if a person says to me, I don't feel like this mitzvah is the right mitzvah, I'm going to tell them something is really wrong with your hargasha. It's like, for example, that's why, by the way, we have Ramach Evarim v'Shasa Gidim, those corresponding of days of, mitzvot aseh and mitzvot lot aseh, corresponding with the biblical count of limbs and sinews in our body. So when you're telling me that you don't feel a certain mitzvah, I'm going to tell you it will be like, I want you concerned about it, because if, for example, you don't feel the tip of your pinky, won't you be very scared? You'll go to doctors and all kinds of things like that. You will seek help. Why does this bother you? So, because something in your spiritual being is missing, is disconnecting, and we do know that by Kiyum mitzvot is really talui on the ability of you to learn. You need to learn more and to increase your knowledge and to elevate yourself not only in the knowledge of mitzvot but also spiritually. And that's why people said to me, somebody once said to me before, and if you know who it is, just keep your mouth shut. Somebody said to me before, I only do the Rambam. The Rambam is the thing for me. And I said to him, Habibi, you're not doing the right thing. You're not doing the right thing. The Rambam is very important. But there is other layers and other levels and so on and so forth. You could be more oriented to that, but you should not dismiss everything else. I'm only writing, and you know what the end result is? The end result is this person at the end was not faithful to his wife, and at the end the result is that the person is not Shomer Shabbat anymore. And it was a prodigy. It was a tremendous prodigy. But you can't do that. That's not enough. That's not enough. You have to also grow spiritually. And the most dangerous part in the spiritual work is to step in one place. Even going down is okay. As Rav Nachman Breslev said, I would rather go 2 steps down in order to go 1 step up. Or I can go 1 step down to go 2 steps. It doesn't make a difference. This motion of backwards and forwards is also good. It also means that you are alive. Because like this, you're going to look more, you're going to question, and you're going to develop. The same thing as a train starts with a bang backwards in order to go forward. That's the same thing applies here. So we need that thing. As David HaMelech said to us, "Tzemea nafshi le'el chai." My soul is thirsty for the living God. Also, he says, "Ke'ayal ta'arog alafike mayim," like a ram or like a deer that is striving for fresh water. Ken nafshi ta'arog elecha elokim. So is my soul striving to you, God. And that's what I said to you, that the song that we sing on Shabbat, Yedid Nefesh, we sing it specifically on Seudah Shlishit, or some of the Sfaradim used to sing it before Alot HaShachar on Shabbat, when they used to say Shirei Bakashot, because it's a tremendous song of spiritual desire to closeness to Hashem. If you sit down and you analyze the song Yedid Nefesh, you'll be amazed at how what level you should be striving to be in the presence of the God, in the presence of Hashem. Right? As David HaMelech says, "V'shavti bevet Hashem le'orech yamim." All he wanted to do is to be in the presence of God for a long period of time. Not like some people said, okay, I pay my dues to society, I spend a year or two in Bet Midrash, okay, I'm out of here. Where are you going? I mean, you have to be a fool to want to do that. And that internal push that we have is different from one person to another. Everybody feels and practices it in a different way. And the reason is very simple, because every Jew has a shoresh neshama, a root of a neshama in an upper world. And and the more of the soul of the person is derived from a higher place, so is the internal push of the person stronger from one to another. So therefore, when the neshama came to this world, the higher the place of the neshama, the greater the desire of the neshama is to reach that closeness. And I do believe that in this generation, in our generation, it doesn't mean Dafka you and me, in the generation that we had, the power of tshuva is so great in one hand, because those neshamot came to this world to be able to create that push to awaken all the other neshamot who are not so high, but to bring them along with us, which sits also with the Gemara that says the neshamot of the Jews went to exile to collect all the neshamot that was spread out in the klipot, and these are the souls of the geirim, of the converts that are very dear neshamot, and our job is to, by sanctifying our actions, to actually awaken that Jewish neshama in them and to bring them back to the source. And that's something that is very, very important to me. You know, to be able to reach out to these people and to try to awaken something there, because you don't know what's the shoresh of the neshama, where is exactly from, and our job is to do and to bring it all about. By the way, this shiur is first of all dedicated to all those who perished in the Holocaust and all those who perished in any other thing, and even if in the Corona thing, that they don't have anybody to learn in their merit or to say Kaddish for them. So we are dedicating in this limud for them, and to all the people who need help and a speedy recovery. And I would dare to say Jews and non-Jews alike, everybody should be happy and healthy, because ultimately we are all here to serve Hashem. And lehavdil, I also want to dedicate this shiur to our dear friend Rachel Chaya Bat Sarah, which is, I would call her our new partner in learning. And we should all have a tremendous gratitude for that particular individual. Also to our dear friend Mike that is not here today, but I hope he's doing well. And so that's what we do. So the thirst that we're referring to is a spiritual thirst to come back home. Now there are some people who would say they're doing the mitzvot, and try to somewhat have an idea. And the mitzvot is as you can find in many books like Sefer HaChinuch and so on and so forth, is enough to do so. But that's one way to do so. But there's some people who want a little bit more, and and I'm not saying anything wrong with this. There's people who learn Sefer HaChinuch or Sefer HaMitzvot, and they think that that's enough, and they daven be'emunah, and then but there are many more, and especially in our time. And again, that's why I do believe that in this generation, the neshamot come from a very high place, that it's not enough for them. And even though that they keep every mitzvah kalaka b'chamura and so on and so forth, but they want to know more. They want to know further. They want to know HaKadosh Baruch Hu in a more intimate way. They want to know better of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not just a superficial, acknowledging, okay, there is a God and I need to do the mitzvot, but I want to know more. And the claim is that we can't accept all the stories that we get in the Torah at face value. As Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said in the Zohar, in Parashat Behalotcha, it says, Vaileahu barnash de'amar deha de'oraita atit le'achazar sipurim de'alma. In other words, that person that thinks that the Torah just comes to tell us stories, well, he better watch out, because it's not the case. Of course, that we need to understand that in the Torah, there are major secrets and codes that are hidden not only in the words, but in between the words, in between the letters themselves. And this is why to really teach us that. And of course, there is a great difficulty that comes along with that, is to really accept the Torah the way it is, like this. That's why Rabbi Chaim Vital, the Maharchu, the student of the Ari, wrote in the introduction to Sefer Etz Chaim the following, according, Bepishte HaTorah, in the simple pshat of the Torah, Besipurea, in the stories, Bedinea, in the laws, and Mitzvotea, in the mitzvot, Beheyotam Kipshutam, just take it in face value, En bahem shum eker veyediya lida et boram itbarach. There is nothing to indicate anything that you should know HaKadosh Baruch Hu the way it is. It's just basically a collection of stories and laws, as some researchers try to say. Lehavdil, of course, lehavdil, to separate, is that there's no difference between the laws of Hammurabi to the laws of the Torah, right? It says, Adarabah, yesh mitzvot v'chukim, even more so. If you take things at face value, there are laws and mitzvot, she'en adat suvaltam, that you cannot even bear to tolerate. And v'chimat rova mitzvot HaTorah ubifrat dinehem en asechel sovolam. He says, and then to the matter of fact, most of the mitzvot of the Torah, you can really comprehend, you can really agree with it, and especially today as we see it today. When somebody comes and tells you, well, that's mitzvah, it's not fair, and so on and so forth, well, you understand where he's coming from. It's a very superficial approach to the Torah. And therefore he says, Ve'im ken, echanu hadar haTorah ve'yofi ve'gdulata. If you go like this, where is the greatness of the Torah and its beauty? And we'll finish with this. I want to let you know, Judaism does not forbid the person who believes to really ask questions. On the contrary, from the answers that exist, as long as the question, of course, as we says, Asheelot Chacham, the questions the person really wants to know, only through these questions a person could really recognize and acknowledge HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to learn his ways. And remember, I told you, there's no such thing as a stupid question. A stupid question is a question that was not asked. However, there's questions that should not be asked and these are the questions that you don't want to hear the answer. Every question that you are interested in hearing the answer and you truthfully want to hear it is a question deserved of an answer. And these are good questions. And this is Sheelot, and these are called, that's what we call Sheelot Chacham. Sheelot Chacham, what we refer to as those questions in which the person who asks them continue in the framework of keeping the Torah and mitzvot, and he does not let his doubt to remove him out of it. In other words, he doesn't use the question, the fact that he has a question, as a leverage to snap him out of keeping mitzvot. That is Sheelot Idiot. This is an idiot question. Not idiot, era idiot. Idiot. A person who does that is a fool. You basically don't want to ask a question. You're just stating your reasoning why you decided not to keep Torah and mitzvot, why not to keep Shabbos, and so on and so forth. That's a fool. It's not a chacham. A chacham asks a question because he wants clarification. And the question came because he was contemplating to find an answer, not to find an excuse. And that's what we are dealing with here. So I would like to stop here, Rabotai, for today. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll stop the recording now, then I'll answer your questions if you have. Be'ezrat Hashem, I would like to continue